We don't use a parting tool for marking out. We use a skew chisel and make what's called a series of V cuts to get our thing. The only time we use a parting tool is generally to size something, and even sometimes we use a skew for that as well. But the first thing is to drop your tool rest down to what I call a normal position, where you're using the gouges and things like that, so below centre, and using a pencil, put a line around the work. Now, whenever you're using anything on rotating timber, except a chisel, make sure that it is facing downhill. So when you're using a pencil, make sure it faces down like that, and you put your mark in like that. Now that applies to whether you're using verniers or calipers or anything like that, except when you're sizing something where you're coming over the top with calipers, which I'll show you later on. But always make sure that it's facing that way. If it grabs, at least it's going to be pulled away from you and out of the way. If you've got it facing uphill like that, there's a good chance it can be driven into you if it hits a knot or something like that. Now the way that you make the V cuts is done with the extreme point of the chisel here, the long point. You can't use the short point, because if you have the short point down like that, you can't see where you're cutting. So most cuts that go in like that are always done with a long point, so that you have complete visibility. So using the extreme point, you put a line like that. Now, if you get this, you are pushing too far and hard. You should not burn it. It should just be a little nick like that. Now there's two ways to do this. I just slide it off to the side. One side about 1 millimetre, off to the other side, and do it that way. Another way to do it, put your nick in like that, and then turn the chisel on the left hand side about 12:05, put your line in. On the right hand side, about 12:05, and put your line in like that. Now, if you use this part of the chisel up here to try and do it, this is the result. It skips back and leaves a lovely spiral down your work like this. Now that might be alright for texturing, but it's not much good if you're doing Artie Flo's table leg or chair leg, okay? So always make sure that you use the extreme point and just make the two cuts in like that. Go straight in. Off to the side, off to the other side. It's like chopping down a tree with an axe or chopping a log with an axe. You can't push it straight in. You must give it clearance to work, like this. And you just take it down to the depth that you require. V-cuts are very, very easy, provided you keep the chisel at right angles to the work, not out over here like this, because again it will catch and skip. And don't cut with anything other than the extreme point of the tool. Now occasionally you'll get it skip even when you're using the point of the tool. Examine the point of the tool here and make sure that it is sharp. In a lot of cases, as soon as you get a skip, it means that corner has become blunt or has been damaged. Remember what I said in one of the other videos, that that's what happens if you drop the tool. It always lands on the point.